Hello. In the day we were playing Lyre. About to start the 6th video now. I slowly come to feeling extremely delirious. Thankfully there were no nightmares or any dreams for that matter. My sleep was very empty as black as night. I suddenly realized that the disturbance that had woken me up was the noise of knocking at my door. The knocking gets louder as I stumble out of bed and throw a coat around my naked torso. Whoever is at the door clearly has something urgent to tell me. Just a moment. Reach the door and open it, expecting to see Lyre leave. Prince Adris? He recoils a bit at my surprise, but quickly composes himself. Lord Winter. Lifts me up and down with a judgmental gaze. I see you still aren't dressed for the ball. I awkwardly pull the coat more tightly around my body to cover up. It's the best I can do considering I'm only wearing a pair of loose trousers and no shoes or socks. I was resting. What could he possibly want with me? Why would he be here to see me? Usually whenever we have a simple chat, it's in the dining chambers or the halls. Please come in. I ask for him to enter, but he stays standing in the doorway. I decide to humor myself, make him uncomfortable by insisting upon it more. Your Highness, it's very cold out, and I would rather not let a draft in. He's hesitant, but walks into the room and takes a seat in one of the chairs, dressing it off first, of course. I doubt it's outside your understanding of why I am here. I take a seat at my desk and place my hands on my lap. Actually, I have not the slightest idea. It's all a bit surprising. Yes, I suppose it is. After this brief interaction, a long moment of silence follows. He sits there, tracing his finger along the patterns of the fabric on the chair he's sitting in. Every moment that passes, I just wish that I was somewhere else. I can no longer bear the senseless amount of silence that echoes throughout the room, so I clear my throat. It's nice to see that your horns have grown back already. He instinctively brings his hands up to his horns and runs his fingers up to the tips. Yes, that oil does seem to work wonders. I take it that you'll be able to attend the ball tonight then, without any embarrassment. He lowers his hands from caressing his horns and looks at me. No, I don't think I will be attending tonight, as much as my father wishes me to. He pauses for several seconds, looking out the window with a glare in his eyes. I apologize for my outburst the other day. It was an embarrassing moment for me, and I regret my actions. Do my ears deceive me? Am I getting a heartfelt apology from the prince himself? I can't help but wonder if this ever happens. He almost choked those last few words out. Your Highness, all was forgiven. It did not affect me as bad as you would think. That's good to hear, but that is not why I'm here. There he is. It was all formality, as I predicted. The reason I am here has to do with yesterday's events. He sits up a bit and stares into my eyes. His eyes are big and have bright golden brown pupils. Oh yes, I was acting a bit irrational. It must have been terribly delirious, but I'm feeling much better now that. You know what happened. Sorry, what? My mother's death. What happened 10 years ago? As irrelevant as it is. How did you come to find out about this information? You arrive here, a clueless, naive ambassador, clearly only armed with your people skills, and yet. He pauses to shake his head as he prepares his next rude yet witty comment. Yet you still lack in that regard. Now wait just a moment. And now only a little over 2 weeks into your stay here, and you already know of this tragic event? With such detail. He stares at me with intensity I've never seen before. It's almost as if you were there when it happened. My fists clenched tightly enough to where I could see the fabric stretching and creasing. I'm not really sure what he's implying by this, but I know that he is definitely not happy. All sorts of casual conversations now gone tense and as tension rises in the room. I placed my hands on the desk and drummed my fingers on an open book. Yes, I guess it would seem like that, but as unbelievable as it may sound, it was from a nightmare. He lowers his fist, yet still maintains his deadly eye contact. I come to the conclusion that it was pure coincidence, nothing more. This isn't the case, but I would rather not make a fool of myself in front of him as I did the others. The more and more time passes, the more I regret reacting in such an undignified manner. I understand that almost anyone would react in that way if something like that happened to them, but I can't help but feel stupid. It was merely a few traits from the nightmare coinciding with the actual event. No, some of those traits could not have been coincidental. Everything from your account was perfectly accurate to how Father described the original event. Wait just a moment. How do you know so much about what happened yesterday? He quickly stands up from his chair. Never mind how I know. I don't know what you're up to, but I don't like it. I quickly stand from my desk. He can clearly see that I am not enjoying these vague accusations. I don't like how he thinks he can treat people like this way, and if I'm going to be advising him in the distant future, he needs to learn what that means. I don't know what you're talking about, Aegis, but I'm certainly not up to anything. You may be the prince, but don't let that give you the impression that you can come into my quarters and accuse me of treasonous behavior. Haven't said or done anything that should lead you to this conclusion. After I'm done shouting, I feel a sense of triumph. You would expect someone like him to be completely shocked by my sudden outburst. He's probably never been told off by anyone beneath him before. Despite my judgments, he just runs his hand along the arm of the chair as he walks towards the door, looking me in the eye. I never said anything about treason. He reaches the door and opens it, a thick gust of cold air flying into the room and settling to the floor. Father has told me that once I'm king, you will be advising me. Even though I feel that it's something I should choose. Allow me to bestow some advice to you, Lord Richter, before that time comes. He steps out into the hall, holding the door open. Oh, watch what I say and do in this castle. The walls have ears, and oh, how they love to listen. With that, he exits the door, closing behind him with a muffled thud. I'm still sitting at my desk, my muscles straightening and my head feeling a bit weak. That edgy little brat? I say this in a low voice after hearing that last comment. Sometimes I'm surprised that we're only a little over a year apart. I pulled the chair up and sat back down in it, feeling a bit lightheaded. What did he mean by that? Does he have spies roaming about? It would make sense considering he's a noble in an environment full of uncommon and unfamiliar people. But he doesn't seem like the paranoid type, although having spies never really hurt anybody. But for what reason would I want to cause trouble? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I fiddle with the trinkets and items on my desk in a lazy manner. I'm thinking too much about this. It's most likely an empty threat from a person I still haven't gained the trust of, and I haven't done anything wrong. I still can't help getting the feeling that I'm being watched. It's not a feeling I enjoy. It's just an entitled brat that needs to get out more. An untouchable, entitled brat. I'm going to watch myself around him, though, but I'm definitely not going to bend his will. His mother's death is no excuse to be rude and insensitive. I rest my hand on my desk and try to think about something else. The ball should be starting soon, and I haven't gotten ready yet. There's another knock at the door. Coming. I open it to find a servant standing in the doorway. Lord Winter, the winter solstice ball will be starting shortly. I have been sent to help you prepare and escort you. He smiled badly with plain clothes and a sad face. He looks to be no older than I am, but I really can't tell. For me, it's much easier to judge a human by their age. Prepare? Yes, getting dressed and whatnot. Oh no, I don't think I'll be needing help with that. I'm quite capable of dressing myself, thank you. He seems shocked by this, but I can tell he doesn't object. Very well, but I'll be outside ready to escort you to the ballroom when you're done. Thank you. Of course, my lord. He leads through the door and he leads through the door and another gust of wind pushes into the room. This coat is no longer keeping me from getting cold, so I quickly toss it off and throw it to the side. As I stand there, shirtless, looking into the mirror, I can't help but feel amazed at how my body has been able to stay in shape. I've always been more on the lean side, but I still have plenty of muscle and a toned body. My arms and the better part of my torso are covered with a moderately thick layer of hair, as well as a few scars from my past. The winter sunlight from the setting sun shines on my golden skin in a very nice way. I've never been one to care too much about my looks, but maybe Lyre was right. Maybe I'm one of the most desirable bachelors in Iran. Then again, no family name puts a damper on that. I'd be nothing more than a pretentious flirt. As I think about my vanity, I mess with my hair in the mirror trying to see if I can make it look special for the night, but I just settle with tying it back. Or I go to one of my chest of drawers and pull out the neatly folded suit I plan on wearing tonight. It's a light and breathable black wool coat with silver buttons and silk accents. There's a vented back flap and a cape attached to shoulders that flows nicely down to the back of my knees. Along with it is a pair of black trousers and a white dress shirt with ruffled sleeves. To top it off, there is a pair of ballroom shoes that I have been saving for this occasion. They are sleek black with leather laces and silver aglets. To add some color, there's a diamond blue silk scarf that tucks into the collar of the outfit. I take it over to the mirror and start to undress. As I'm fully nude, I dampen the towel and freshen up. Once I'm dressed, the sunset has already shifted to a moonlight evening. The servant outside of my door has already addressed me several times, letting me know the festivities have most likely already started. I'm in no rush though. I never like to arrive to a gathering early. Arriving to a party too early can result in many uncomfortable situations that I would rather avoid. I'm still reeling from my encounter with Adrius from earlier. I'd rather avoid people dumping information on wanted questions on me at the current moment. Tonight is supposed to be a night of pleasant and clever conversation. After the last few stressful days, I would like to take my mind off of everything that has happened. Unfortunately, that will seem impossible with the people that are going to be there. Wherever they go, they bring scandals and trouble. It was never like this in Erin. I feel like I'm in a charade of falsities. Nobody ever shows their true intentions. Except him, of course. He's always different from the rest of them. I guess that's what I like the most about him. Conversation between the two of us is as formal as ever, yet it feels genuine coming from him. I guess the main reason why is because I can trust his loyalty. I say to myself out loud. I guess it really is one of the most admirable qualities. Usually one would admire someone who inspires loyalty, but I for one have always admired those who show it. It takes a great amount of bravery and trust to follow someone to the end. My lord, are you alright? My restless ramblings faded away as the servant outside released me from my inner thoughts. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. We really should be going. The king is expecting you, and will start to wonder where you are. When he says this, I feel a twinge of guilt, so I quickly straighten out my suit in the mirror and adjust my hair. Yes, of course, I'll be out in just a moment. As I'm walking to the door, I spot something on my desk that makes me realize that I've almost forgotten something. It's my silver ring from Erin, with a sapphire socketed in the center. I usually wear it on special occasions, mainly because I'm not really a ring person. They always seem to get in the way of doing anything with my hands. I pick the ring up and slip it onto the middle finger on my left hand. I'm tempted to slip it onto my ring finger, but then people will assume I'm engaged, which is not the case. I never thought about marriage with another man mostly due to how unheard of it is. I do enjoy tickling with the idea of someone slipping an engagement ring onto my finger. The idea sends a chill up my spine, then some when I think of Lyre doing it. His gentle claws piercing the ring and sliding it up to my knuckle. God, I got to stop thinking about such scenarios. I stride out to the door and pull it open. I'm instantly met with a chilling blast of wind on my face. The air outside is dry, cold, and immediately makes my face feel numb. Good God, it's freezing. It is the first day of winter. I didn't expect it to get this cold. I put my scarf up around my neck and tuck my hands into my armpits. Our winters are famously harsh, at least as harsh as winter gets in Tigran. Sailors say it gets worse the further up you go. The vitality fire helps us, though. He walks ahead, and I quickly shuffle behind him. The weather isn't nearly as bad as it will get, though. Soon the plants will have to be brought in because at one point the fire isn't enough. He turns around and notices me shivering uncontrollably. Don't worry, my lord, the ballroom is not very far. Just call me Winter. As you wish. The further we go into the castle, the more warm the air becomes. Once we get closer to the ballroom, we see more and more people. Ladies in bright, colorful dresses and men in suits, in black suits similar to mine. They seem to be on their way into the ballroom. This way, Winter. Your party will be near the King's Lounge. I turn around to see him ushering me down a side hall with a high ceiling. There's a few attendants standing outside of the front door wearing beautiful black uniforms. They stand straight when they see us approach. Here you are. The two attendants open the door. The two attendants open the double doors and usher me to walk through. I'm surprisingly nervous. The sudden change in temperature causes a chill to run down my spine, and I suddenly break into a cold sweat. It's now or never. Thank you. Of course. I step through the doorway and enter onto a balcony. I'm left completely speechless. If I had a single word to describe the ballroom, it would be elegance. This section alone is completely massive, with a ceiling almost as tall as the throne rooms. There are large, thick ivory curtains that line the walls, closing off the sections of the hall. Large pillars of pale marble and stone adorn the walls and corners of the room, with a grand U-shaped staircase leading down from the balcony I'm standing on. Tables are strewn about the sides of the hall in a loose yet satisfying fashion. Candles, plants, and enchanting centerpieces decorate the tables and cast a soft warm light on the faces of people sitting at them. The floor shines brightly, almost reflects everything like a mirror. Its checkered pattern reminds me of a chessboard. It makes sense considering that chess is almost like a dance in a way. There are a lot of individuals out on the floor. Most of them are avians and mammals. Some of them are sitting off to the side in small groups, each group chatting amongst themselves. The others are dancing to the beautiful waltz playing from the small stage at the base of the balcony. The music is very lovely. It brings light to the room. One touch of the room has that catches my eyes a dim pink light that comes down from the chandeliers above. It casts the entire room in a rose hue. It changes the ivory into a light pink and the marble into a rose quartz. There are already a few people walking down the steps, a few couples with elbows locked. We begin to head down the stairs behind them and reach the bottom. The wall to my right is lined with tables full of delicious looking food. Pastries and tarts line trays along with several boards of cheese and olives. Fruits, towers, and cobblers are arranged neatly on plates, and there's an entire table dedicated to kegs of different types of fine wine. Each keg has a labeled tab, and in the very middle is a table with a pyramid of wine glasses organized delicately in the center. Each glass is filled with a different type of wine, and the center is a decorative candelabra that shines light through all the glasses, creating a colorful light show on the floors and walls around it. Wow. Yes, indeed. The dog seemed to appear behind me a few steps up the stairs. He reaches my level and puts his paw on my shoulder. Absolutely stunning, is it not? He gestures out towards everyone dancing on the floor. All of our hard work paid off, wouldn't you agree? Well, all of your hard work, my job was easy. He says this last part offhandedly, but in an amusing way. I suppose so. He pats me on the back and settles down. I get a good look at his outfit. It's a sleek black outfit with gold trimming. The suit fits him nicely and makes him look agile and graceful. A small golden crest is placed on his left breast along with a green label. To top it off, there's a green satin necktie wrapped around his collar. Once again, he has matched his clothes with his bright green eyes. As I eye his suit, I notice him looking me up and down. Victor, I must say, you look rather handsome tonight, even after what happened yesterday. Oh, thank you. Is he flirting with me? Or you just mess with me? You look good too. You like it? He says as he puts emphasis on his suit. Outfits like this are very popular with gentlemen in Greece. I had it tailored to fit my body perfectly. Well, it certainly does. Thank you. There's a moment of silence which I decide to break. Do you decide to come with anyone tonight? No, I don't think so. That's perfectly alright. There are plenty of people on the dance floor without a partner. I'm surprised he didn't manage to secure a partner. I'm even more surprised that girls were flocking after him like a murder of crows. A foreign lord with a distinct accent and charming good looks. He's perfect. Though I don't see anyone doing any of the dances I know. Not as athletic as I had hoped, but still it's a dance. He put his paw on my shoulder again. He's certainly the physical type. I'll see you out on the floor. He turns to walk away, but stops in his tracks. Oh, one other thing. Enjoy the night while it lasts. I'm told that tomorrow is when the real work starts. What do you mean by that? He walks towards a group of people and does a florist bow to a black cat. He accepts his advance and they lock elbows, walking away from the group towards the dance floor. So it's that easy, huh? Yeah, for him at least. I wish it was that for me. What did he mean by that last remark, though? What's the real work going to be? I look over toward the stage and admire the musicians to take my mind off of it. It's a small river otter playing a grand piano. It's about half the size of a regular piano, and still his feet can barely reach the pedals. He's wearing a black suit with a ruffled collar. His playing is pretty good, and I become entranced by his paws sliding up and down the keys. That is until I notice a sweet melody coming from the violinist. There are a snow leopard with a flowing mane of brown fur, wearing a black suit with ruffled sleeves and ruffled hem. His eyes are closed as he performs the waltz, standing front and center. You can really tell that he's feeling the music as his fingers dance across the strings. Truly a master. I've always been a fan of music. The world just can't do without it. The stage they are standing on is framed by a tasteful golden archway with curtains falling down to the ground. The gold is textured so that it casts the light in an interesting way. Each intricate swirl and detail is graced by sparkles of candlelight. The acoustics of the stage are nice too, and it allows the music to travel around the entire room. This room must have cost Reno a fortune. Speaking of Reno, then I should have asked Kazaz if he knew where the King's Lounge was. He's actually stepped foot into his room several times during the planning, while I have not. Too late now. I might as well go looking for him myself. As I'm about to walk around the outer walls and find my way around among the crowd, I notice a tall pair of antlers. I recognize them as Reno's horns, considering the other deer in the castle are a bit shorter than him. His antlers are also much taller. On my way over, he spots me. Victor, Raynor says this in a surprisingly jovial tone. Hello? He is suddenly decorated. His outfit is simple and beautiful. A dark black suit with a sort of cape. The cape is adorned with a golden peacock feather pattern with a green gemstone in the center. The suit also has the Odyssey crest placed on the left breast. The outfit does a good job at showing off his body too. With that big coat on all the time, you don't get to see much, but he is quite muscular. I would even venture to say he rivals Lyre in that department. He is truly the biggest stag I have ever seen. The most interesting part of his choice is in fashion is the golden flex that he has decorated one of his antlers with. Everything matches and it's all designed beautifully. I expect nothing less from a king. Your suit is very nice, Victor. Is it from Aaron? Yes, and it was very hard to find something like this. The other is much more harsh than I predicted. He takes a drink from his glass. I can't imagine how hard it would have been to find something warmer. I imagine it would be very difficult. The server walks by and Raynor places his empty glass on the tray. He also grabs a new one. Before the moment is lost, I prepare to apologize for what happened. I wanted to apologize for what happened the other day. It was not my intention to cause so much chaos. I was just very frightened I should have taken more control of my emote. He holds up a hand to stop me from going any further. It's perfectly fine, Victor. We move closer to the edge of the room as he continues to speak. His hooves clop on the ground in a satisfying way. You don't have to apologize for anything. Leaf explained to me what you told him. He did? Yes. You don't need to worry about it. I was hurt and confused at first, but I knew you wouldn't act so unhinged without reason. We should talk about it later in private. Oh, okay. He glances around the room while we talk, and I notice him set his eyes on something. Ah, here comes Elizabeth. Maybe you can get a second chance at a first impression. He says this, jabbing me in the shoulder with his elbow. That would make it a second impression. Wow, she looks completely different from how I remember her. He's looking at me with a perplexed look that slowly fades into a look of slight discomfort. Her hair is no longer loose and tied back, but instead brought up into an intricate braided crown with gems weaved throughout the braid. The dress that she wears is a light cyan cloth with crystal-like leaves delicately sewn onto the base. The sleeves come down past her hands and draped by her sides. It's a very pretty dress, but I appreciate it if she would stop staring at me with those dead eyes. You certainly look better. She says this in a droll tone. Yes, thank you. I apologize for the other day. She wastes no time in answering. Apology accepted. I don't really understand what was going on, but Raynor speaks very highly of you. I trust his judgment. She turns to him slowly with a cocked eyebrow. I just hope he trusts his own judgment. Raynor rolls his eyes amusingly at this comment, not taking it too seriously. Liz, he has been nothing but helpful and a good friend. Liz? She tilts her head at him with a look of intrigue. If you say so. Another servant walks by with a tray of drinks. She takes one off, and so do I. Liz, why are you not dancing? I thought you enjoyed dancing. You talked so fondly of your experiences during your stay at Drees. She smiles and takes a sip from her glass. I've already danced to a few songs for a couple of lords, but I've been taking a small break. I'd like to see you dance in these. She lifts her dress and gestures to her footwear, looks a bit uncomfortable. Hell, I'd like to see him wearing shoes. I say this as I point at his shoes. That would be an interesting sight. He chuckles as he retorts. Elizabeth lets out a laugh. The jokes of small talk help to lighten the mood a bit. Elizabeth sighs and then looks over at me, her lips pressed up to her wine glass as she speaks. Winter, was it? Do you dance? Oh. Well, I'm certainly not beat deaf, but I wouldn't consider myself the best at dancing. She eyes me while taking a sip from her glass. Her eyes were starting to give off less of a dead look and more of a smug demeanor. I guess we'll just have to see. She holds out her hand. I don't. Would you like to dance? I stare at her hand for a moment, feeling a bit intimidated. It's not that I don't want to dance, I just don't want to inflict more harm to my dignity. No, it's just a dance. Nothing out of the ordinary. I take her hand in my own and give her a slight bow. It would be my pleasure. She gives me a decided smile. It's real she doesn't seem like the type to smile. The first impression I got from her made me think she would be much more stern. I think I'll go get one last drink. We leave Raynor as he heads for the tables and make our way out onto the floor. The musicians are already playing a song, so we just join the dance. I take her hand, she wears her arm on my. I gently place my hand on her waist and we begin to sway and step in motion to the song. Her dress gently glides across the floor and I find myself trying not to step on it. See, you're too hard on yourself. No, you're too kind. The situation becomes less awkward as we finally settle into the rhythm of the music. It sounded a lot like my father. What? Oh, it was nothing. You just share the same accent as him. Oh. She has a Lyre accent, though. Did you grow up here? For the most part. My father and I moved here from Aaron when I was just an infant. For what reason? It's nothing really important. I guess Lyre just presented him with a really good opportunity. I hold her hand up into the air and guide her around me in a circle. After she makes the full circle around me, we go back to doing a gentle waltz. I spot the dogs at the other side of the ballroom, chatting up with a few girls. It looks like he's showing them a very energetic dance. Some of them are giggling and he's clearly got them in the palm of his paw. Would it be safe to guess you didn't grow up around humans much? Isn't it obvious? Yes, it would. Growing up in Lyre, I've only had the pleasure of knowing a few humans. I've met plenty of humans in my 25 years of living, but I've only known a few. I really can't imagine that, and Aaron's quite the opposite. I know. The climate is much more favorable for us over there. I almost stepped on her foot but narrowly avoided. I looked to her for a reaction, but it looks like she's trying to ignore it. Yes, it is. How do you like it here in Lyre, though? Oh, it's very nice. The people here are very pleasant. I've been welcomed with open arms on multiple occasions, although I'm starting to think that some of the people here can be a bit fake. I even hear that you have become very good friends with the captain of the Royal Guard. At this point, I do slightly trip over her feet, which causes me to lose my balance for a moment. Yes, I have. He has been an excellent acquaintance these past few weeks. I'd imagine so. Captain Reed and I don't converse much, but he is a very kind wolf. He's done so much for this kingdom, and I think he's the best person to introduce you to this land. I agree. Although I will admit, I believe he is a bit afraid of me. What? They're all afraid of you? Yes, but believe me, it makes sense. You haven't seen much of it, but I can be a completely different person at times. Because of my job, I can be very serious. That clears up a lot. I say to myself as we resume our dance. I can understand that. It's just the way I am. As a king's advisor, it is my job to make sure things run smoothly. I've also been told I can be a bit intimidating. I can definitely understand that. She smirks and then sighs while letting out a chuckle. I can't help it. I work up the courage to ask her another question to keep the conversation going. So, are you fine with going by Elizabeth? What do you mean? Well, Raynor called you Liz earlier. I was just wondering if you prefer a different name. Well, I see. Most people call me Elizabeth. Who I work with call me Liz or Lisa. Only my father can call me Lizzie. If you ever call me that, you'll regret it. She says this last part with some levity in her voice, which gets me to laugh. Her dry humor is spot on. The song ends as we bow. That was actually quite pleasant. More fun than I thought I would be. She seems happy too, but I can't tell if she's just thinking it so as to not insult me. So what was it like growing up in Aaron? As I'm about to answer her, I see someone from across the ballroom. It's Lyre. He's standing up against a wall close to Raina watching us dance. I can't really see him too well through the crowd, but I know it's him. Please excuse me. I bow down, kiss the back of her hand, and walk away. Where are you going? I need to go and stretch my legs. You're leaving a dance floor to go and stretch your legs? I know that sounds stupid. I just really wanted to go and say hi to someone. We could resume dancing in a bit. I'm already too far away from her to say anything without shouting, so I just keep walking. Sometimes I despise how awkward I can get around women. She didn't seem to be hurt by it, though. We all spots me walking towards him and meets me halfway. Hello, Winter. Hello. I can't hold it back. My face is probably as flushed as it can get. I've never seen him in anything but his armor and his regular clothes. He looks so handsome in his suit. It's all snowy white with blue accents and a silver lining on each important piece. His shoulders are adorned with silver epaulets which shine brightly in the candlelight. I like your hair. I was wagging furiously behind him, but I try not to make it look like I noticed. My hair always looks just nice. His tail is wagging furiously behind him, but I try not to make it look like I noticed. My hair always look like this. Oh, yes. So, is this some sort of captain's uniform? Actually, yes. Only wear it on special occasions since it's very uncomfortable. Oh, but I'm glad you like it. Of course. You look very handsome. Oh? What? I watched his hackles raise and his fur fluff out. I guess he really liked that. His tail is still wagging really fast. Thank you. He quickly calms down and takes a sip from his wine glass. It's a slightly bigger one and it's almost empty. So I see you've met Liz? Oh, yes. She seems nice. A lot different from how she was the other day. Well, the other day was a bit hectic. A lot has happened. Like what? Lau throws a casual yet alert glance around the room. I'll tell you later. It's nothing too serious, trust me. Please don't tell me it was another problem in the canyon. No, nothing like that. Really, I'd rather not talk about it here. Okay, I won't say another word on the subject. I really want to ask about it, but I also don't want to seem like a pest. This is a party. So earlier you said that you would be doing your job while you were here. Yes? What does that mean? He quirks his lips and thinks for a second. I'm basically here to keep going. Make sure nothing bad happens. I just have to stay alert. Well then. I grabbed an empty wine glass from his paw and rotated, swirling around the minuscule amount of liquid left. Shouldn't you be trying not to get drunk? It's not that. He clears his throat. Trust me, I'll be fine. No, you won't. You might not, but I remember the last time you were drunk. Hand the wine glass back to him. Yours are pretty, but I think wolves are even prettier. Huh? Wait. I said that? I poke him on the nose and step behind him to get a glass off of the wine table. He shakes his head a bit in disbelief and walks up behind me with a smirk. He reaches around to grab his own glass. I can feel him leaning close to my ear. His hot breath blows onto the back of my neck. Trust me, drunk or not, I'll always be there to protect you, my lord. And since a shiver up my spine, I start to feel hot in the face. Stop teasing me. I'm not, really? I turn around and offer him my hand. Prove it. At first, it doesn't look like he knows what I'm applying. Then as if on cue, he takes my hand right as the musicians prepare to play another song. But as we walk out onto the dance floor, I notice that he looks a bit nervous. I squeeze his paw a bit and he looks down at me. Are you afraid of what they'll think? Two males dance with each other? You said it yourself, nobody minds. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, when a liar, a wolf, the music starts and he just stands there wide-eyed. Yo, right. I'll lead. He grabs me by the waist and takes my hand with his other palm. I don't want him to have to bend over too much, though. so I adjust my arms to his height. The dance starts off a bit slow, with the two of us pacing slowly across the floor. I already feel like I've had a bit too much to drink, even with just one glass. He's not a bad dancer, even considering how different our legs are. Are you comfortable? I don't know. Everyone's looking at us. I look around and notice that there are several people off to the sides who are looking our way. Some of them have sought to sweat and some have blank faces. I see Liz standing off to the side. She has a confused look on her face but smiles and raises her glass to us. I guess she's figured it out. Don't worry, Lyre, but now. Essentially rests my head onto his chest as we move our feet to the rhythm of the song. It's just you and me right now. The lights above us dim, and a couple of smooth blue spotlights move around on the floor in rhythm to the music. It creates a very moody lighting that becomes tense in the music. It's a perfect romantic situation. He doesn't respond to that last remark though. Instead, he just holds me close to his body. The smell of coconut invades my senses. I become lost in his warm embrace. His neck fluff is irresistibly soft. I hear his heart beating through his chest. He's beating fast. So you're okay? I don't get a response at first. After a few seconds, he responds, yes. So I guess I just froze up. Why is that? I asked this in an amusingly curious voice. Winter, do you have feelings for me? I can now feel my heart beating rapidly against my ribs. These heavy clothes aren't helping either because I feel myself sweating profusely. Yeah. He guides me around him, similar to how I let Liz around me earlier. Once we meet again, I come back to his front and look off to my side while we continue to dance. Now, I'm not sure what I feel. I see him give me an inquisitive yet concerned look from the corner of my eye. My feelings for you grow with every day that passes. I turn to face him, but stare into his torso as I speak. My emotions are very complex, and sometimes I don't know what I feel. It wants to be with you, no matter what people think. Our ranks don't matter to me. Our dance turned into more of a conversation, but he still guides me across the floor, his claws clacking against the ground sometimes. I'm only technically a lord. I pause to look up at him. He's staring at me with anticipation. I can tell that you're eager for my answer, but I must ask you this first. The song and dance seems like it is entering its finale. What were you hoping I would say? The waltz reaches its crescendo in its final drawn-out note and we enter a depth. I glance out of the corner of my eye and notice that the other dancers are going in for a kiss. Two fosters lock lips and carry each other into a warm embrace. Is this it? Is this happening? My heart lowers to the floor as he leans over me. His widened eyes are staring into mine, and I feel as if my gaze has gone through his soul and flooded back into my own. I close my eyes in anticipation. Nothing happens. I open my eyes and Lyre stare at me with a nervous gaze. He raises me back up and glances around at the rest of the room. I'm sorry. We shouldn't have. I look around and see everyone staring at us out of the corner of their eyes. Just us. Just me and him. The room suddenly starts to feel like it's being warped. Pick up on a distant chatter. Am I the only one who just saw that? Did that wolf just try to kiss him? No, I think it was a human. Looked like he was suspecting it. I heard them talking on the dance floor. Apparently that lord has feelings for Captain Reed. Really? That's completely unheard of. I doubt he feels the same. Could you imagine? A wolf in love with a human here in Lyre? No, that's impossible. My mind is spinning right now. 1,000 thoughts run through my head. What is going on? What's so wrong with us being together? They're from Area, you know. I've heard a lot about how they do things differently there. Maybe they should just go back to Erin with the rest of their lot. Hey now, there's no need to be insensitive. So this is what they think. I see Lyre standing at a bed outside of the crowd. She has a concerned look plastered on her face as I see her stare into my eyes. Once her mouth some words in my direction, but I can't understand what she's saying. I don't see Wayne or Kadash anywhere in sight. The music hasn't started playing again. Remember because a cascading pit that threatens to swallow me. I look up at Lyre and see him glancing around nervously. He looks down at me with fear in his eyes. Ritter, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what to say or do. I tried to, he chokes on his words. He's rubbing his paws together in a nervous way. I'm sorry. I can't believe this. I want to leave. Alright? He puts his arms around me and starts to lead me towards the stairs. Alone, please. But I want to explain. Now, please, we'll talk later. I say this in a hushed whisper. I just don't feel like being around anyone right now. I break away from his arms and begin to walk towards the stairs. Everyone I walk past is completely silent. Everyone's single eyes on me. I hate it. After climbing a few steps, I turn around and address the people in the room. To all you Sands who smile at me through your teeth. I pause, feeling like there's a large bar in my throat. I want to have your good opinion crushed by something so trivial. Enjoy yourselves. There's a dreadful silence that falls over the rest of the ballroom. I look down and see Lyre standing at the base of the steps. He looks concerned and confused, but for a moment I think I can see a flicker of admiration on his face. It's like he's happy that I'm standing up for myself. I thought this was a party. There's even more silence before the music resumes. I trudge my way up the stairs and go through the main hall doors. I may be slightly drunk, but it's nothing compared to how drunk I feel from telling everyone off like that. The power fades, though, as everything settles in. I can't believe this. Is there a problem with interspecies relationships in Lyre? Now that I really think about it, I've never seen one here before. I look back on all the times I've seen a couple and I realize that they've all been the same species. I guess I never really questioned it because I didn't stand out much. Why though? Why is it such a problem? It happens all the time in Aaron. I've had my fair share of experiences with several different species. And I know so many people who are with different species. Some of them are even married. They can't have kids, but that's not what it's about. I walk through the halls and run my hand along the wall. Anytime I come across a picture frame, I trace the bottom of the frame with my fingers. I think back to the look on Lyre's face when we had stopped dancing. Thinking about how he lived that whole time. Every facial expression blends into one confliction. I must have put him in a pretty uncomfortable position being so forward like that. I think about the way he looked so nervous and scared. All this time, I thought he was just sighing. My pace slows and I feel my eyes start to water. Fuck all of them. That was so embarrassing. I never want to see another noble's face again, with the stuck-up attitudes and pride. I'm just going to do my job and focus on what matters. Ritter! I hear Lyre call my name down the halls. It echoes across the walls of the corridor. His voice gives me the sense he's worried, but I really don't want to be seen like this right now. I can't even remember the last time I cried. I went further down the hall, reached a dead end. There's a door off to my left that I recognize. This is the tunnel that leads to the village. Ritter, I know you said you wanted to talk about it later, but please, I'm really sorry. Went into the tunnel quietly and closed the door behind me. It's extremely dark in here. I'm not even able to see silhouettes. Not to mention, since it's night, I can't even see the light up ahead. I feel my way around and find the wall of the tunnel. It's really cold. After steadying myself, I start to move forward, touching the wall and being careful not to trip. The noise of the water drops hitting the floor is almost therapeutic. I step into a puddle of water, and for a moment I think that I can see light. To test it, I take a step again and notice the water starting to glow. What the hell? I bend down and touch the water with my bare fingers. It's warm. Little swirls of glowing water flow and light the air around me. What the hell is going on here? I've heard of water doing this before, but isn't that in the ocean? What is doing down here? I take another step and use the light to guide my way through the tunnel. This only works for a few feet, though, because the puddle is only so big. I save myself on the wall again and work my way toward the exit. Judging by how long it's been, I should be getting close. I don't even know why I'm still walking anymore. I stopped crying and I really want to go back inside. The air in here is freezing, and if I remember correctly, the trapdoor at the end is locked. I'm too far in over my head now, so I just keep going. I am completely sure that if I somehow get lost, Lyre will sniff me out. He was already hot on my trail after I had left the party. Suddenly, I trip over a dip in the terrain and fall onto a set of wooden steps. I managed to catch myself with my hands, and aside from the initial shock, I'm not hurt. I look up and I can see the faintest light breaking through the crack in the trapdoor. Climbing the steps slowly, I reach up and press my hand to the bottom of the door. The wood is cold and dusty. It opens. Did Lyre forget to lock it? No, I swear I remember him locking this. He wouldn't forget. Dust falls off of the door as I lift it up. The first thing I see is snow falling gracefully from the night sky. It's much warmer up here. Everyone's candles and torches are lit, so I assume they're inside of their homes. There are a few people walking down the streets, but the village square isn't nearly as crowded as it was 2 days ago. Look up and see the lanterns burning with vitality fire. The area around them is almost completely devoid of snow. As it falls from the sky, it hits the ground and the snowflakes dissipate and melt onto the cobblestone. I find a warm spot in the alley and sit down. I put my knees up to my chin and wrap my arms around my leg. The lower half of my face is buried in my scarf, but I can still see snowflakes fall onto the black sleeves of my suit and melt. At this point, I don't really have any thoughts. I just feel like falling asleep here. I'm also waiting for that trapdoor to open any moment and for Lyre to come crawling through. I regret leaving him at the party. This whole situation just makes me feel so stupid. I don't know what's right or wrong anymore. I also feel I'm at fault, but I also wish someone would have warned me. I don't know, I feel so stupid right now. Everyone's always telling me how clever I am, but sometimes I feel like it's on accident. After sitting on the ground for a few more minutes, I hear a distant mumbling. It's a loud and quiet voice that sounds sad. It's coming from the fountain. I shuffle closer to the corner of the building I'm leaning against and lean around it. It's Idris. The hell is he doing here? Is that why the door was unlocked? He's sitting at the fountain and looking up at the statue of his mother. I can see him mumbling to himself, rubbing the rim of the fountain with his ungloved hand. The water around the fountain is glowing a bright blue. I'm starting to think that the spring water here has some sort of luminescent quality to it. I watched him continue to talk to the statue almost as if it was actually her. It reminds me of when people pray to their gods. How they sit down at an altar and talk to it as if it's some sort of vessel they can use to communicate with the being. This is different though. This isn't his god though. It's his mother. I looked for a bit longer before I realized that I probably shouldn't have seen this, especially lurking in an alley. Hit the door trap open at the end of the alley and turned to see Lyre poke his head out of the entrance. There's a blanket in his arm. There you are. He closes the door softly and walks up to me. Are you okay? No, not really. I'll be fine though. Are you going to be okay? Yes. After you left, I didn't want to be there. Everyone kept looking at me, and a few people actually questioned me about it. I'm sorry for leaving you there. I just really didn't want to be around anyone after that. I don't know how to feel, but everything just seems so confusing. I really do like you though. I see a small glimmer of a smile on his face. Victor, it's fine. I know. He takes a blanket and wraps it around my shoulders. Let's go back to the castle. Even with the vitality lanterns, it's too cold out here. Okay. He leads me to the tunnel, and I look back towards the direction of the fountain. Idris is probably still sitting there. Something wrong? No. I just have a lot on my mind. I open the door. He leads me to the tunnel, and I look back towards the direction of the fountain. Idris is probably still sitting there. Something wrong? No. I just have a lot on my mind. He opens the door to the tunnel and leads me down the stairs. Yes, me too. He lowers the door, and it closes with a resounding thud. I can hear him unlocking the door, and then a few seconds later, he gently takes my hand in his paw. After leaving the tunnel, we walked down the corridors for a bit. Ugh. What is it? We're going to have to pass by the ballroom to get back to my room, right? Oh, yes. We could. What? We could go to my bed chambers for a bit. It's not far from here. We won't butt into anyone. Sure, but only if you want to. That sounds nice. I have a really nice fireplace in my room, too. The servants have probably already lit it, so it should be nice and warm. So if you're okay with it, it's this way. No. Yes? I said it was fine. Oh, yes. Sorry, I get carried away sometimes. Hey, it's fine. I'm not bothered by it. He takes my hand and leads me down a hallway I think I've been down before. I can't believe I haven't seen his room yet. That should be a good place to talk about what's happened. We arrive at our door and he fumbles with his keys. Sorry. He finds the right key and unlocks the door. The warm air rushes into my face as he holds the door open for me. And we're going to stop here for now. Okay, so we made it to Lyre's room, and it's nice. And we'll get to see more of his room next time. So, Idris is sitting at the fountain of his mother, so he certainly cares a whole lot about her, and he really misses her. Now, he apparently still does not trust Richter. In fact, he trusts Richter even less now because he found out that Richter somehow knew about his father. Somehow he figured out about his father. Somehow he figured out about Richter finding out about his father and how he saw his wife, Queen Elena, getting killed by the bandits. Apparently that made Idris really angry that somehow Richter knew about, somehow Richter was able to explain the exact detail of the events from his father. So that made Idris really angry, and maybe Idris even wonders if maybe Richter had a part of it, but we all know he didn't have any part at all in that 10 years ago. But somehow Richter is experiencing things from the past. He experiences those events from somebody's point of view, and he was able to experience Queen Elena's murder through Raynor's perspective. So, is it just a dream, or is there something else going on here? I don't know. I think something else is going on around here. There's something else going on with Richter. I don't think that was just a dream, but we'll figure out soon. So, apparently, people here do not mind same-sex couples dancing, but they have a problem with couples of two different species dancing together. So it's frowned upon here in Lyre that people of two different species dance together. It's always normal for two people of the same species to dance together. So for those people, it was normal to see Richter, a human, dancing with Lyre, a wolf. Many people were shocked and disgusted by it, but it's perfectly normal and alien for people of two different species to be dancing. So it's something that Lyre is not very tolerant in, at least when it comes to a consensus among the people. I don't know how it is legally, but if it was not legal for people of two different species here on Lyre to be dancing, they probably would have been stopped. But nobody did. But again, maybe the reason why is because both Lyre and Winter are people of too high standing. Maybe because Winter is a noble and Lyre is the captain of the royal guard. So maybe their status has something to do with it. But I think if it was illegal for two different species to be dancing and being together, they would have been stopped. But I guess it's legal here in Lyre, but socially and culturally, it's frowned upon. So that really hurt Lyre. I mean, name's confusing again, but it really hurt Winter when people were very dismissive towards him and Lyre when they kissed. And he cried and basically told everybody off. And I'm really glad he was able to vent off his frustration to everybody, because it's true. I mean, people here in Lyre, the nobles in there, I mean, they're fake. I mean, they say things to you and then say something completely different behind your back. And they smile, but they're not really sincere about it. They have an issue with you. So that's how it is, not just here in Lyre, but even in real life. That's how a lot of people are. They pretend to like you or be nice to you, but don't really let you know how they really feel, and they let others know how they really feel about you behind your back. It's not very positive or nice. So that's all for now. We'll continue next time. All information for the games is in the description box below. Thank you all very much for watching. Bye.